everyone, it's Laura and I hope you're all doing well. So today I thought I would share with you my tips for dry skin and eczema. So if you're interested, then keep watching. So for those of y'all who aren't aware of what eczema is, it's when you get dry, scaly patches of skin, and for different people it shows up in different areas of the body and it can be extremely painful. My eczema primarily shows up on my legs and sometimes on my love handles, but for the most part it's on my legs. And this is something I've been primarily dealing with for the past decade or so, and so it's been a journey finding exactly what works for me, and I've chosen to go the more natural route, but I encourage you to find what works for you. Take away some of these tips, hopefully apply them, hopefully they work for you, but if not, be patient with it. You'll find what works for you and you'll get there, I promise. So it's not that at this point I never have any eczema flare-ups. It's just when I do have them, I know what works for me and I know what minimizes the impact and the itchiness and is the best route for me to take when I do get flare-ups. Just as a little bit of a background, I had a huge flare-up spring of 2014, and it was disgusting and terrible. So bad that summer of 2014, I barely wore any shorts. It was all over my legs and really disgusting and really gross. So since then, I have had some flare-ups, but nothing like that. So that's when I really started searching for more natural paths to take in regards to my eczema. So with that being said, I hope these tips help you out, and let's get started. So my first tip, and this has probably been the biggest one that's helped me out, is so whenever you go to the dermatologist or your primary care doctor and they're talking to you about eczema, one of the tips they often say is don't take hot baths, don't soak in hot baths. But for me, that is a huge source of de-stressing. I love baths, so that was not something I was willing to give up. So I've kind of figured out a way that it works for me. So what I do when I am having flare-ups is I run warm bath water, and then I take coconut oil, probably about this amount, so maybe like 2 tablespoons, and I put it in the water. Even though it's solid, it'll melt in the water. And then I take a few drops of tea tree oil and I put it in the bath as well. And I soak in it for at least 10 minutes, ideally 15-20 minutes. And then what I do is when I get out of the bathtub, I don't towel dry the areas, so I don't towel dry my legs. I let my legs air dry just so all the oil soaks in and I'm not wiping any of it away. And then from there, I immediately get into some type of long pants. So if I'm going to bed, my long pajama pants, or if I'm going to work, my long work pants. So then it's not like I'm putting on shorts, getting into bed, the oils are getting rubbed off in the sheets and whatnot. So that's what I do in regards to my bath. So second, which this will only apply if you have eczema on areas that you shave, but for me, since it's my legs, it's obviously an area I shave. So what I started doing is I don't shave my legs during flare-ups. Just kind of, for some people, maybe gross, but for me, it makes the flare-up last a significantly shorter amount of time. So not shaving for a week, for me, is worth it versus having a flare-up for 3 weeks because I'm shaving every couple days. And then also I use coconut oil to shave. So I slather a bunch of coconut oil all over my legs, I shave, and then I slather more coconut oil on while I'm still in the shower, just because my pores are open, because it's under steam, and so I like to go ahead and moisturize before I even get out of the shower. So yeah, that's what I do when I shave. Next, and this was a really big aha moment for me, is ever since I was little, my mom's always told me I'm allergic to wool. So anytime I would wear a wool sweater, I'd always have something underneath it. And a huge moment for me was realizing wool socks and Uggs. So for separate ethical reasons, I've been trying to get away from wearing animal products, using leather, using wool. I've been trying to get away from it. But the biggest thing for me is not wearing Uggs, because the winter before it got so bad, I was literally wearing Uggs every single day. So I've been getting away from wool. I don't wear wool socks anymore. I don't own Uggs, and I won't buy them again. Like I said, for ethical reasons, but also it's so bad for my eczema. On that same note, I also got away from using any strong odors when it comes to washing my clothes. So I only use free of any chemicals, free of any artificial scents and things like that. So switching to a more natural way of cleaning your clothes. And if you don't, at the very least, just use, some of the brands will say free and clear, so free of any scents. Also not using dryer sheets, not using any type of fabric softener, which you really don't need it. So yeah, getting away from those altogether. So next has to do with diet. So I've done two things. So I've significantly increased my water consumption over the past 2 years. So what I do is I got this thing from Target, and this is a liter, and I at least drink 2 of these a day. I drink more if it's really hot outside or if I exercise that day. I try to at least drink 2.5, 3 on those days. So I increase my water consumption, and at the same time, try my best to limit my caffeine to 1 or less cups of caffeine a day, which was more difficult for me in the beginning just because so coffee reminds me of my dad, and so it's really comforting to me, the taste, the smell, just the whole process of brewing a cup of coffee, which is better now that I've moved home. I obviously don't miss my family as much, so it's not as big of a deal. But also in regards to tea, I'm a huge tea drinker. I love tea. I could drink it all day, every day. So limiting my caffeine to less than a cup a day in addition to increasing the water. And then last but not least, which I feel like isn't discussed a lot when it comes to eczema, but for me, big eczema flare-ups always coincide with really stressful events in my life. So if I'm going through something, whether I'm moving, switching jobs, graduating from school, anything big that's changed in my life, I tend to have flare-ups. And those are when the flare-ups are the worst. So for me, it's remembering to breathe, remembering to meditate, do yoga, and do things that calm my mind down. And one of those is taking baths. One of them, which I've recently got back into, is actually reading books. Before I was all about, which I still am, but listening to books on tape, just because I got through books quicker, because I could listen to them in my car, listen to them when I'm getting ready for work, but getting more into taking the time to sit down with a book and read. So that's something to just keep in mind if you are someone who is really struggling with eczema, figuring out ways to de-stress, and not only will it help with your skin, but it'll help in every other area of your life as well. So yeah, I hope these tips helped you out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them below. If you have any additional tips or recommendations for people struggling with eczema or really dry skin, then I'd love to hear your recommendations, hear what's worked for you. And I hope you all have a great day, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye.